The Amana Centre is a retreat in Oman, where people of faith come away with a sense of mission for world peace by participating in an environment that teaches respect for religious diversity.
Peace be with you. Salam alaikum, as they say in Arabic. My name is Reverend Aaro Rytkönen, and I'm the Executive Director of Amana Centre. I'm originally from Finland, but since spring 2017, my home has been in the country of Oman. The Amana Centre focuses on building peace, trust, and reconciliation between and within religions. First, we provide interfaith encounters and intercultural immersion for students and faith groups in a very unique environment. Second, we provide a refuge for religious groups to talk in private, to discuss their intra and interfaith challenges. And third, we provide a safe and tolerant space for religious groups who seek peace and reconciliation. I have come to dearly love Amana Centre. Join me as we take a deeper dive into this oasis of faith-based peace building.
Oman became the center, call it fate, destiny, providence, because we had a history there. So the Reformed Church in America started the mission there in 1892, and it developed education and healthcare, really pioneered healthcare in the country. But over time, those things had run their course. So the hospital in the early 70s were turned over to the government. In the late 1980s, the school was closed. And so all that was left were these buildings in search of a vocation. And throughout the history of doing those works was this history of interfaith cooperation, because it was Christians and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and people from around the world who happened to be there who came together to do these things. And so we thought, given the need in the world today for interfaith dialogue and cooperation, that that would be the place that we should build upon that heritage.
What the Amana Centre does is it puts you in relationship with people who believe differently than you, look differently than you, and it gives you the incubator to try out questions, try out relationships in order to be formed to bring about goodness in a new world. It's a safe place to learn and to grow. It's an incredible place. The brilliance of the Amana Centre is that it is an immersion experience, which means you know you're going there to be confronted, introduced to all sorts of different types of people. There's no monolithic Muslim story. And because there's this safe space of this incubator of people you're being introduced to, your purpose is to reflect, a lot of self-reflection. Your purpose is to interact with other people that are different than you. You then have permission to ask questions. You then have permission to feel uncomfortable. You then have permission to perhaps ask a question you might not feel comfortable with if you're getting to know someone on the city sidewalks of New York. But it's more than education, it's relationships. I mean, relationships change us. All of a sudden, your concerns become my concerns. And that changes how someone lives their life.
I absolutely do think that the center can contribute to peace in the Middle East. I think peace is not just about big leaders sitting down and talking and the media, explaining to people about it. Peace is all about the everyday person having an attitude of acceptance and understanding with people that are different. I think the only way that people can understand each other is through discussing their differences and being curious about each other and accepting each other. So the more opportunities there are to be non-judgmental, to listen, and again, be curious about other people, the more opportunity there is for people to become understanding and accepting. So interfaith dialogue does just that.
I think the Amana Centre is a model for how we interact with other people who might be different than us. So this immersion-based model can be applied to interfaith work, it can be applied to political work, it can be applied to, I think, a lot of different models of how to change and be a more compassionate person. I think that's what the Amana does, is it helps us become compassionate people. And this world needs it right now. It's not always a kind world. And so anything that allows us to care for each other and humanize each other, why wouldn't we be about that?
The word Amana, it means trust. It means stewardship. It's a word which is being used in Quran when God trusted the world in creation for humans to live in. And I believe it's a very beautiful word also in our context, because we have been trusted so much in our world. God is asking us to build bridges, make strangers into friends. I think there's so much misunderstanding in this world. Sometimes it's even intentional. We need to do better. We have been trusted so much and we have to live up to that challenge. I truly think Oman is a very unique country to bring people of different faiths together. Oman is a country which over the centuries has been a place where people have met each other. Ships have sailed from Asia to Africa and back, and it seems that tolerance and willing to meet people, it's in the DNA of Omanis. We are really lucky to have the center in Oman. It's important for me that we continue our mission based on a trust which has been built between Muslims and Christians in the country over the last century. Based on that, my vision in leading Amana Centre is to strengthen our role to be a safe space for religiously motivated groups, both interfaith and interfaith, to come, to discern, and to reconcile, to eat together, talk together, and act together. Amana Centre is uniquely placed to do all that.
I think what makes the Amana Centre unique is the way they go about doing interfaith dialogue and peace reconciliation. They believe very strongly in personal relationships, in building friendships, so that deeper dialogue can happen. You're meeting a human being that, just by knowing that human being, breaks down all of the stereotypes that you may see in the press about all Muslims this, or all of Islam believes this. But I think what the Amana Centre is doing is bringing people together to deepen their understanding, to change their minds through their experiences, so then they go back and tell their stories, as I hope everyone who's gone from the trips that I've gone are coming back to tell their stories.
There's a deep, deep need in this world for people to understand each other. So many of our reactions and interactions are based on fear. And I think that Amana Centre can uniquely play a role in helping for people, when they have the knowledge of each other, to have that fear dissipate. That there is a place for Muslims and Christians and Hindus. There's a large section of Hindu population in Oman, live together without any religious violence or tension or incident. I don't see religion as the cause. I see religion as the solution. And I think that Oman and what we do there can help show the world that that's really true. And so for me, these are the successes, is opening people up to the possibility that we're not as bad as they thought. You know, that's why I love bringing Westerners, people from America there to meet my Muslim friends, so that they can go, wow, you're nothing like ISIS. you're nothing like Al-Qaeda, you're nothing like what I see on the news. And so that they too can then go back to their context here. And when people say, well, Muslims are out to kill me, they can say, well, no, let me tell you about the Muslim that was all out to feed me.
And people often ask me that in living in that environment and learning about Islam, in any way does it dilute your faith? You know, does your faith become more interfaith-ish, meaning a blend of Islam and Christianity? And it hasn't. I mean, I admire and learn things from Islam, but in many ways, in learning about another religion, it drove me deeper in my own faith. It raised questions for me and had me think about things I'd never thought about before from the perspective of my faith. And so I owe so much to the experience to deepen my sense of faith. Oh, absolutely. I think it already is, because the Oman and His Majesty, as I mentioned, His Majesty works quietly behind the scenes and content with that, but has tremendous influence because he's really the elder statesperson now in that region. And so to be in a country and have a connection to that place and a leader like that who does so much to negotiate between countries and between religions, the center is poised and has been able to help be a part of that.
We're not going to solve the world's problems, but at least we can be a beacon of hope, a beacon of hope that it's possible for religion not to divide, but for the people, faithful people of religions, living together is not a myth, it's not a dream.
I hope that you have been inspired by the story of the Amana Centre. You have learned a little bit about our marvelous centre, which is building trust, peace, and reconciliation right in the heart of the desert. Perhaps now you know what the translation of the word Al-Amana means in English. Trust. Trust initiated by God. Please come and visit us. We would love to share our experiences with you. Ahlan wa sahlan, welcome in Arabic. You are always welcome to Amana Centre in the Sultanate of Oman.